this under you. And this one is Chad's, right? Chad? No.
I don't know, but I can hear myself. Here's one.
That's supposed to be yours, Lou. Yeah, is that connected to your earphone?
Keith has one.
No, but is this wire connected to?
You're three.
That's
You're
three.
three, Chad.
Yeah, it's three, right? Now this is two.
Yeah, this is three.
This belongs to you. This is Jay's. Can you put that over there?
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Everybody
Wait.
sitting up straight.
Wait. Okay.
Maybe I'll.
Okay.
No, I can't.
See, that's why you have to come early. Okay.
I just move to your left. About 6 inches. That's good. Okay.
You can sit
David, you
out
should
there.
have 2 good shots, right?
Oh.
Did everybody sign this?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so you can see how we do it. You can sit everything.
All right. So I'm turning this on. Does this report in? Put the headset on.
Yeah, I can hear you, Jay.
You can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now push it over a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to switch after 15 minutes.
Right. Okay, so every 15 minutes there's a segment. So we're going to start with Keith, and he's going to tell us all about energy efficiency, and then it'll go to you two, and then I'll come back in, and Jay and I will ask questions of you on the second segment. So it's every 15 minutes because in between we slice in the ads. And so you'll go to second segment, and then if there are more questions, keep you for third segment. We'll have Henry, and then we'll see who wants to come back for the final session. So it's like about 13 minutes or so each session. So it'll go fast.
So we'll stay for
As
1
long
and
as you-
2.
Yeah, I'm thinking Jay. I'm thinking no, maybe come back after
Okay.
after 3. Then we'll get them to come on, and then we'll
What?
decide where we need more information.
Sure.
Okay.
Whatever.
All right.
Isaac, move to your left. Okay, is Isaac okay?
Do you have anything from Flow Image that
Yes,
you want to
thank you. Oh, bad throw. How could I do that? All right, thank Richard for me. Okay. Keith. We got Chad. We got Isaac. Isaac
Masaki.
Masaki. Related to Ellen? Maybe you should meet her.
Okay, so here's the people.
And it's
So segment 1, of
and
course,
Marion, what?
is Smith,
Smith.
biker. But she's going to be in segment 3. So I
Okay.
have Chad and Isaac first. Chad and
Who
Isaac.
are we missing? We're missing.
And then Henry.
Oh, Henry. Okay.
Henry Jiao owns Aloha E-Bikes. So this would be segment 3 and segment
All this
4.
Transportation efficiency.
And put Chad and Isaac. Chad can talk about bike lanes, bike plan for the city, how it is going
Okay,
or
so the
not.
first one is Keith. Take
Keith.
this away.
Okay, Keith.
And we're going to talk about, what are we talking about today?
CFLs today,
Okay.
just efficiency of common lighting.
Okay, and then we're going to go into the first one, and it's going to be what? Complete
Transportation.
streets and
Complete
bikes?
street and bike plan, and how is Honolulu changing for bikers.
Okay.
And we
And
can-
Isaac, are you on board with Chad, or is that, you talk about the same stuff or different stuff?
He's a biker, so you can say how well. You don't have to do biking. He'll do the biking.
E-bikes. I was.
Oh, you're an e-biker
from-
person.
He's a
Okay.
biker and an e-biker, so you can tell us why he switched to
Okay,
e-bike.
all right.
'Cause
And
biking-
and then with Marion and,
And Henry,
Yeah.
Henry is going to talk about the whole industry of e-bikes and how well it's doing or not. Right, Henry?
Yes.
And Marion is here as being his first customer at e-bikes. And what is she? Is she the first one? Is she your first customer?
The truth is yes.
David, do you hear
There
me?
you go.
David, stand up if you hear me.
The first two customers is
Good.
well.
Okay, so
alright.
turn on the timer. See the timer? Just hit the start button.
The fourth would be a wrap-up, and I don't know, maybe we'll just have Henry and,
Wait, we're done now. We're going to start the program. We're 5 minutes late. It should be a lesson to all of us.
You gotta be a little bit to the left.
Sorry?
You have to be closer to me.
What?
Could you move over toward Isaac?
Sorry.
A little bit more.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, welcome to ThinkTech Hawaii. Here we are on Energy Wednesday, broadcasting on ThinkTech Radio and Ustream and Spreaker and, oh my goodness, and also it'll be on Olelo 54. So watch this space. And here today on ThinkTech Wednesday, we're going to talk about transportation efficiency and what could be more appropriate for transportation efficiency than e-bikes. I met Henry Jiao when he first started his operation. I was so impressed. I was waiting for stuff to happen. Okay, and now maybe it's happening, Henry. Good for you, Henry. Okay, so we have people who are going to talk about cycling.
It's happening.
Now we're going to talk about people who are doing cycling, we're doing e-bike, and we have 4 guests with us today, aside from my inimitable co-host, Sharon Moriwaki, who was here with us, spreading her happiness everywhere. Okay, we have Chad Taniguchi from the Hawaii Bicycling League. We have Isaac Masaki. Where are you from, Isaac?
Kalihi.
Kalihi. Ooh, okay. Hard to ride bike in Kalihi, I think. Okay, we have Henry himself, Henry Jiao, and we have Marion Smith, his first customer. But for the first part of our show, we're going to have our old friend Keith Block around here, who is so fabulous from Hawaii Energy, talking with the negawatt moment. Give us a negawatt, Keith, okay?
Today, Jay, normally when we come on your show, we try and bring some, because of the nature of your show, we try and bring you some techie stuff. But today we wanted to kind of take a step back and talk about something that we hope everybody already knows about already, but it's the amount of energy used in common lighting. We all know that if you have incandescent bulbs, the old-fashioned incandescent light bulb, you need to get rid of them. And that's because, most of the energy that goes into an old incandescent bulb doesn't go in to do what it was intended, and that was like make light.
Wait a minute. You want me to go through my house and you want me to take all the incandescent bulbs out of my house and throw them away in the trash?
Yes.
That's what you want me to do?
That's exactly right. And the
Why
reason-
would I do that, Keith?
Because we all know that when an incandescent bulb is on, we know not to touch it. Why? Because the darn thing's hot.
That's the reason I don't like to take them out of my house.
No, over 90% of the energy that goes into an incandescent bulb just gets used up in heat. Only a very, very small portion of it goes to actually making light. So today there are many, many more options that are just better. The best one right now is compact fluorescent lamps. Those are the curly Q things, look like an ice cream cone.
If you take the initials of those words, it stands for CFL, doesn't it?
CFL, which most
Now I know what it means. Compact fluorescent lights. Huh?
compact fluorescent lamps or lights or but CFLs, it's a fluorescent tube, small tiny fluorescent tube wound around. And those are 3 to 4 times more efficient than an incandescent bulb, 3 to 4 times more efficient in making light. And actually you can tell that because most of the time when a CFL is on, you can actually touch it. It's still a little bit warm, but you can touch it. That's because there's much, much less energy going to heat.
I don't know if you realize this, but the lights that are lighting you right now in the studio, which would otherwise be much hotter, are CFL lights. How do you like that?
They look actually very nice.
And the actual wattage is a fraction of the wattage it would take to run the same light elsewhere with an incandescent bulb.
Yeah, so you know already that the compact fluorescent is being used in many, many different
Well, I'll tell you why we
applications.
use them. And this is another point of advocacy for you. They don't use as much wattage. And I am concerned that if I use the full wattage in incandescent bulbs to light the studio, I'm going to break the circuit breaker. And then I won't have anything. and we won't be able to have this show. So this show is being made possible by the fact that they only use very low wattage.
And you're absolutely right. It's a lot cooler in here. I've noticed that already.
Yeah, it's not only cool in temperature, it's cool in general.
Now, one thing
All
I got to
right.
tell you is, for residential customers, if you buy your compact fluorescents at most of the major retailers, you're already getting an incentive from us, from Hawaii Energy, because we've worked with the retail marketers out there, and we have what we call an upstream incentive. So when you go to the checkout, the register, they'll take the money, the incentive off when you purchase the bulb. And you should be able to see our Hawaii Energy logo somewhere where you're picking up the bulb. So if you're buying yours, from any of the major retailers, you're already getting an incentive from us.
But there's no, I guess what you're also saying is no further incentive. In other words, by the time I buy the bulb, I already have my incentive, and I should not call you or write you about it.
That's correct. But the other thing I'd like to point out is if you're a commercial customer, there might be better options for you. Those that buy in bulk sometimes have relationships with bulk suppliers. If you buy from them where we don't have an incentive already in place, you only have to just show us proof of purchase, and we'll give you $2.50 for each lamp that you buy, CFL that you buy.
Oh, okay. Well, that's pretty good.
And that, in some cases, can be better than the ones you get at the retailers.
So let's talk money, Keith. I always think that here at ThinkTech we have a duty to the public to talk like it is, What's it going to cost me for a CFL?
They're getting so cheap right now. If anybody's been out looking at, Costco or Lowe's or Home Depot or any of those places, they're down in the $1 a bulb price range
Wow.
now.
That wasn't the case even 2 years ago.
No, and that's why I was saying it used to be the hard thing to get people to give up a 60-cent incandescent bulb because they were so cheap. But you're starting to see CFLs getting down there in that same price range now. So
Okay,
now there's
so-
no good reason not to change.
Give me a path now. So I listen to you. I've listened to you whether I like it or not, but I listen to you and I get this message and I have to stand up at the end of this radio show. I'm going to take your advice. I'm going to go to my house. I'm going to go home. What do I do?
Take those incandescent bulbs and throw them in the trash and replace them with CFLs.
All in one great big fell swoop?
Well, if you go down to Costco and buy enough CFLs, yeah.
Actually, maybe I should go to Costco first. And then I will come home to my house with dozens of CFL bulbs, and I will replace them one by one. At the end of the transaction, I will have light in my house.
You'll have light, and the other good thing about compact fluorescents is they actually last a lot longer than incandescent bulbs.
How long do they last?
They last up to 10 times as much as an incandescent bulb. So, and later on, maybe next time we talk, we'll talk about LED lights that are coming out now that even last even longer than that.
Okay, we're not exactly quite finished because, this is the time for cross-examination. Chad, we always cross-examine our Hawaii energy efficiency people. And since you're hidden as a lawyer, a hidden lawyer as it were, I wish you could think of some good cross-examination questions for Keith. Keith Block, Chad Taniguchi. Go for it, Keith.
Hey.
I mean, Chad.
Why isn't it better to just let your incandescent burn out and then change it?
Because the incandescent is using up so much energy. It's using 3 to 4 times more energy than a compact fluorescent bulb. So if you replace it right now, the payback would be, in a matter of weeks or months. So yeah, you're better off taking them out and throwing them away even before they burn them out. And the other thing too is, that heat that's coming off those incandescent bulbs is causing your house to heat up, and if you're in air conditioning, especially commercial customers that have incandescent bulbs inside, air conditioned space, you're not only paying for the energy to heat in the lamp, but you're also paying the energy to cool off the heat that you put into the space.
So you pay to make it hot, and then you pay to make it cold again.
That's right.
Is there any value to the incandescent bulb in some other use, like for chicks or something like that? I don't
Yeah,
know.
heat lamps. That's where you would use them. They're so hot that you see restaurants put incandescent bulbs above their food to keep their food warm. So I mean, if you wanted the heat, that's a good place. I mean, that's the only place really to use it.
Well, maybe you could sell the old ones to the restaurant, Pull them out, go to Costco, go home, and take the old ones to your favorite restaurant. Sell it to them cheap, 10, 20 cents, Put them over the fried chicken.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, Isaac, your turn. Let him have it.
Let's see. I started riding bicycles when I was about 2006. I started with a regular mountain bike. And this past year, I wanted to lower my gasoline costs on my pickup truck. So I was thinking about looking around for e-bikes, and I found Aloha E-Bike with Henry. And since he was a local dealer, I decided to.
Wait, Isaac. We're still on the on the CFLs. Do you have any questions for him?
How about if you transition directly from incandescent to LEDs?
LEDs, actually, that's
Good question.
That's a good question. So LEDs do actually use less energy than CFLs, but right now they're quite a bit more expensive than. So you can. That's a great way to go because CFLs, I mean, LED lamps last like 50,000 hours, so they last almost forever. They actually dim better. The only downside to them right now is they're still quite expensive.
Yeah. And if we could get LEDs for the studio, and by the way, if you have any programs to incentivize LEDs for the studio, I would really like to hear about it because we'd like to have them here. They give actually more light, the LEDs. Yeah.
And we do have a program. We have a customized rebate program for applications just like this where, it may be studios or it may be things that we just don't have enough of them around to make a prescriptive or a dedicated program for it. So we have a program called our customized rebate, and basically you tell us what you have now, how much energy the new LED lights will use, and we figure out what the incentive would be based on the energy savings between the two.
We got to talk. And I hope you don't mind all the cross-examination, Keith.
I don't mind. I
Yeah,
expect it.
we're still friends, right?
Yeah, I expect it. Every time I come on, Jay, I expect it.
Got any more you want to say, or you want to tell us about next week?
Well, I don't know what I'm going to talk about next week yet, but if you
could
have,
say it's a secret.
it's just that too. But yeah, if you have any questions about energy efficiency, you can always go to our hawaiienergy.com website, and that has all of our rebates and good ideas on projects you can do to save energy.
Thank you, Keith Block, Hawaii Energy Efficiency, here on the Negawatt Moment. Thank you for coming down.
Thank you, Jay.
We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Aloha. We're going to take a short break, Chad Taniguchi and Isaac Masaki, in order to switch seats at the table and to get ourselves in order for the discussion, as it were, in chief now to follow. We'll be right back. Okay.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Thank you, Keith.
Thank you, Jay. And I'll try to think up what we're going to talk about next week. Thank you, Sharon.
So that little changed, or same thing.
See?
Oh, okay.
So it'll be like now you two are going to be cross-examined.
Okay.
Okay.
But you
The
start.
topic is energy efficiency.
Yeah, energy efficiency. It has to
Yeah.
be energy. Energy.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay.
And fossil
But-
fuel. The energy that comes from fossil fuels, right? That's
Right,
what we're talking about.
you're wiping that out because you're going by bike
Yeah,
with
yeah.
your own energy.
Okay, we're back. We're live. We're ThinkTech. We're doing Energy Wednesday. I want to be sure everybody's, this is not the train to Babylon. This is Energy Wednesday. Okay? And be sure everybody's on the same page here. We're talking about transportation efficiency hyphen what's new in e-bikes.
And bikes. And bikes.
Bikes and
Non-motorized
e-bikes.
traffic.
You're right. How could I skip Chad's favorite passion over here? And I suppose we should begin. And Sharon Moriwaki has taken the place of Keith Block, who said he'd come back next
Hi,
week.
everybody.
Okay. And now we're going to get to our discussion in chief about bikes and e-bikes. So Chad, let's talk to you first. That's Chad Taniguchi and Isaac Masaki we have here. And let's hear what's going on with bikes as a solution, to the problem of efficiency, energy efficiency in transportation, which is a problem we have not yet adequately addressed, which I'm sure Sharon will tell you about in greater detail. But what's going on in bikes?
In terms of energy efficiency, it's way more efficient to walk or ride a bicycle because you're basically transporting your own body weight or maybe a 25 or higher pound bike. and so it takes a lot. It takes zero fossil fuel energy to do that, and in fact, you're making yourself healthier by burning the calories that you consumed. So, I mean, that's why people walk, bike, and use e-bikes. You're not lugging around that 2-ton or 5-ton metal casing that has to propel you if you're sitting and driving. Instead, you're moving your arms, legs, and getting to where you want to go on your own power, active transportation.
Well, let's talk about the distinction, because I think a lot of people here in this program are going to be talking about e-bikes, and if left to your own devices, you'd probably just take a regular push bike, wouldn't you?
Regular pedal bike, yeah.
Pedal bike.
Yeah. And
when I was young, it was a push bike, but hey,
oh, okay.
yeah, that must mean you're younger than I am.
I don't know.
Most people are.
So by using the bike, you use about 1 musubi per 7 miles.
There we go.
And you use no fossil fuels. You just use food. And in terms of safety on the road, I mean, it's energy efficient, but to get more people to walk and bike, there's a new concept called complete streets. And that means complete for walkers, cyclists, and for motorists.
Is that spelled COMPLETE or EAT, like the complete kitchen?
Complete like finished.
Okay.
Yeah. And so right now the streets have turned out to be most suitable for cars, and now we're talking about equality on the road, where it should be also suitable for pedestrians and cyclists and cars. So the law that was passed by the city council about a year ago says that whenever they repave or build a new street, the city in its design has to consider the needs of pedestrians and cyclists. And they have to then put in facilities that will assist pedestrians and cyclists, unless it's way too expensive, unless it's clear that it's not going to be used, or unless it's clear, as in a freeway, that it's not suitable for pedestrians and cyclists. And we're working, Hawaii Bicycling League is working with the City Department of Transportation Services to see that the Oahu Bike Plan, which was just renewed in August 2012, gets implemented whenever the mayor's repaving plan is implemented.
Does he have the money?
He has about $100 million a year now, and they're going to struggle actually to repave that many roads. So he has enough to have an aggressive repaving schedule. And then all it takes really is to put in a stripe for a bike lane, or sharrows, shared lane markings with a bicycle, to remind the motorists and the bicyclists that bikes belong on this road.
Can you explain what Sharrow is? Is that the
Yeah.
hatch mark? Where is
Sharrow is a symbol of a bicycle with a chevron, 2 stripes on the top, and it just means that bikes can ride in this area.
both bike and car?
Bike
in that
and
area?
car, yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't really need the sharrow because the law already says that a bike may use the full lane if it's safe for the bike to do so. But the sharrow is a reminder and incentive for the cyclists to use it.
Well, it's wonderful what you and the Hawaii Bicycling League have been doing over the past few years. And, you know, you're sort of repopularizing bicycles. They used to be really popular, I remember, in the 60s and the 70s. That was another time. Sharon and I were just young pups at the time. Maybe you were too.
Yeah.
Maybe you too, Isaac. Yeah, you're giving away your age. But anyway, you know what? I guess what I'm interested in is what we have is a government, an apparent government buy-in to this, to the notion of complete streets,
Yeah.
to the notion of you know, of super efficient transportation, because all you carry around is your own body weight,
Yeah.
no steel container and all that. On the other hand, you don't have a steel container to protect you
That's why the
from other
streets,
steel containers.
yeah. To be complete streets, that means there's enough signage, enough space, and enough understanding that pedestrian and cyclists should be able to use it safely.
You know, Sharon and I and the Hawaii Energy Policy Forum, which is one of the three progenitors of this show, the three of them are DBED and Hawaiian Electric and Hawaii Energy from Keith's block you heard a minute ago. You know, we are involved in a metrics program. And the metrics program is to try to take stock on how things are changing, to get a sort of a navigational fix on where we are in terms of clean energy so we can plan our moves in the future. And I wonder about cycling. Maybe you should have a metrics program on cycling. I would like to know, for example, is there a trend to more cyclists these days? Can we get a beat on that somehow?
We're trying to do a bike count in September 2013 to determine a baseline for how many cyclists are using the road, and we want to continue that bike count every year and see how it changes. In general, nationally, there is more cyclists using the roads, and there's been about a 50% increase from 2000, the year 2000.
Will your survey cover all of the islands, or is it just Honolulu? I mean, will you have information on neighbor islands, for example?
We're just focusing on Oahu right now.
Is there a Hawaii
Mainly,
Bicycling League on a neighbor island that you can
there's
you connect to?
Path on the Big
Right.
Island, there's Path on Kauai, and there's Maui Bicycle Association on Maui.
What is PASS stand for?
People for access to trails, Hawaii. So we all cooperate and help each other out.
So will they be doing the survey like you're doing and just counting how many bikes?
Yeah.
bicycles
Well,
are?
maybe the Department of Transportation will do that, because when we brought up the bike count to DOT, right now they count mopeds, electric bikes, and bikes at the same time. They don't differentiate. If they have 100, they can't tell which was a bike, e-bike or moped. So
Big difference, huh?
they could change their metrics so that they would measure bikes and mopeds and motorcycles.
So, you know, up till now, our discussions, you and I have had a number of discussions about this. We've talked about the pure cycle, the bicycle.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about e-bikes. But it sounds like you and the Hawaii Bicycling League are sort of wrapping your tent, or opening your tent, so to speak, to e-bikes too. How do you see that?
Well, it saves energy in relation to car. It has lower speed than motorcycle and moped, which makes it safer, and very low carbon footprint. So it's a good thing. And I think the only potential danger area is in the multiple use paths where you have strollers and other people using it. Then I'm not sure that the e-bike is compatible with that.
So it depends on where you're actually using the e-bike.
Well, they're fine on the road, they're actually fine in the bike lane.
Yeah.
And the multi-use path is where you have pedestrians and bicycles. And so that's the only place
So
where
you're saying
I'm not sure.
it's a danger because it goes so fast, or what? Why is it not compatible?
Yeah, if it goes too fast. And I know the e-bikes have limited RPM and speed. So if it's not fooled with, then it probably is compatible. 20 miles per hour maximum speed limit is what they usually.
Then it's really very close to the performance of a bicycle.
Yeah, a person can bike 20 miles an hour,
Yeah.
just can't sustain it.
Yeah, for a little while anyway.
So maybe Isaac can tell us how safe is the e-bike as versus a bike, because he does both.
I think human-propelled bicycle is safer than a motorized e-bike, because you have that motor and you can sustain a high rate of speed for a high period of time.
Well, Isaac, we know that Chad rides over the Poly a couple times a week. Is it fair to say that?
Yeah.
And he gets everywhere he goes by way of his bike. And I know he brought his bike with him to the studio today, because right outside the studio we have an assemblage of bikes. And you're on e-bikes then.
Yes.
Tell us your experience and your use and how dependent you are, if you are, on e-bikes.
I love my e-bike.
It's a quote. We heard it on ThinkTech Hawaii.
It
Isaac
gets
loves
me-
his e-bike.
It gets me everywhere I want to go in a short period of time, and it's very inexpensive. It reduced my gas bill from, say, about $200 a month down to about $2.37.
That's great.
It has an energy tax credit of 10%. It's easy to park, it's easy to drive, easy to maneuver.
How about get stolen?
Yeah.
Uh,
How do you keep it safe?
I have a heavy-duty chain, kryptonite chain lock.
You worry about the traffic?
I do worry about the traffic. I try not to compete with the cars as much as possible because the cars can go a lot faster than my bike can go. My bike can go probably 20 miles an hour. So I try to stay on the sidewalk and I drive slowly on the sidewalk. I look out for other
You can
bicyclists.
drive on the sidewalk? I
Right.
thought you had to do bike paths.
Um,
So
Wait,
bikes can go, e-bikes can go on the sidewalk?
yeah, as long as it's
Or
not
they
in
use like-
downtown or
Yeah.
Waikiki.
Maybe we should have a discussion about this during the break
I know.
and settle this as a matter of law. But Isaac, let me just point out that you seem to be wearing a bright yellow outfit with a reflective stripe around your midsection. And I take it this is so you can be seen.
Correct.
And I note also that our very effective CFL lights are picking it up really well, and it's actually blinding me in my eyeballs. but you are visible. I can vouch. Sharon, would you vouch
Yes,
for
I
that?
vouch for it. Nice, very nice, bright
So
shirt.
isn't that you don't drive a car anymore?
I still do when I need to haul people or cargo around. I still need to use my pickup truck. But I try not to use my truck as much as possible. It takes a car off the road and, you know, the consumption of fuel.
Is your e-bike, does it have pedals on it also? So in case you want to,
Right, I can pedal it, and it has a thing called regenerative energy where
Oh,
it puts
yeah.
the energy back into the battery.
Yeah.
Sharon's Nissan
the
Leaf
Leaf
has
does
one of
that,
the
yeah.
regenerative energy, yeah. They've got it everywhere now.
No, it's good design.
Hey Isaac, I was wondering, if you rode in the middle of the lane, you don't think you'd be safer because then the car would be either in front of you or in the back of you?
Correct.
Yeah, then,
If I'm not sure about the car, I take the whole lane.
okay.
Hopefully,
and you're allowed
most,
to do that by
most-
law, right?
Yeah, but not every car driver knows about that law
You still have to drive
or
defensive.
respects that law.
Yeah, but so what do? They honk at you, yell at you, tell you get off the road, or?
Well, or that, or they go really close to you.
Yeah. You know what I do? You know what I do when that happens? I take their license number. I look at the make of the car. I look kind of what the description of the person is. I call 911. I tell them, police, non-emergency. This is what this person did. He was really dangerous. And for the police to call the person up or visit them at the house and tell them that bikes can use the full lane. And that usually the reason they're mad at us is because they don't know the law and they think that we're violating the law by being in the middle of the lane. But it's really true that e-bikes and bikes belong in the middle of the lane. And on Kapiolani or King Street, they're not going to be deterred by more than 3 or 5 seconds just to wait and pass us on the left. So, on the other hand, though, that bike is pretty heavy. So, for the pedestrian on the sidewalk, if we hit them, it could be bad for them. So, since you got a motor, I want to encourage you to go in the middle of the lane. And we actually have classes that teach people how to bike in the middle of the lane where that lane is too narrow, where you can't fit a bike and a car in the same lane and be safe. We tell people right in the middle of the lane because that's the law. And then the car is going to be either in front of you because they were already there, or if they're in the back of you, then they just got to signal and pass on the left, go in the next lane, and then cut back.
Chad,
I
are
think
you
it-
giving classes to e-biker riders also? They want
we
to come
would-
around?
Yeah, we would welcome e-bike people. Same.
So it's the same.
They're slightly different though,
laws?
aren't they?
They're slightly
The
different.
e-bike people, they're not the same.
It, if especially when it's pedaled most of the time, and then the electric assist kicks in
On a hill.
on the hill, or when you're struggling, then that's where, to me, it would be best. When you use it more like a moped, then that's where I think the potential danger comes in.
Does the law define e-bikes and bikes the same way? I mean, you still have the same right-of-way, you still have the same requirements. So, I mean, in concept, it's bikes, and one is electric generated, and the other one
Hawaii
is-
law doesn't define e-bike yet.
So it's just bikes.
Yeah, and the state and city are trying to get a law passed that would define the e-bike, I think, so that it can be registered, and so that the city can collect $15 registration. And that's where Hawaii Bicycling League would like to see the e-bike defined as an e-bike with a motor, and then allowed to be wherever bicycles are, except for the multi-use path. I think that's where we try to draw the line.
Isaac, you're good with that, huh?
I think that as long it's how you drive the e-bike, it comes down to physics. Mass is times mass. Force equals mass times acceleration. So a car has a big mass, and it's traveling at a high rate of speed, so the force will be a lot. Where a bicycle has a smaller mass, and it goes at a smaller acceleration, so the force will be much less.
May the force be with you. and at ThinkTech, we love to talk about such things like formula about mass and acceleration, all that. But we're going to take a short break right now. Thank you so much, Isaac and Chad. After this break, we're going to move to two other guests we have who can tell us more, yet still more about e-bikes and transportation efficiency in Hawaii. Thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back after this break.
Good. Very good. Thank you. So,
You can stay at the microphone, by the way, and
is that
contribute
microphone-
more.
Is it on or not?
It's on.
It's on. So,
Okay, why don't we switch? We don't have time. Let's switch.
thank you, Chad. And then if you can stay, then we'll have Chad and Henry at the end about what's the future for bikes and e-bikes.
Okay, we'll do that. Yep,
Can you
we can
stay?
do that.
Yeah, I'll stay.
Okay.
Anything to contribute here? Henry can
This
sit
one is
next-
for this
Oh,
chair.
okay.
Marion, come sit next to me. I want you next to me.
Okay. How
And
close?
Henry will be-
Henry can be over there next to Sharon.
Okay. So
It's a
what do I
double
do
take,
with
yeah?
this?
Okay.
This is here.
And then this.
Okay, where this? We'll put the wires behind you. Okay.
This. And then the wires
That's it, you're
behind
good.
me.
You want to have that microphone point directly at your mouth. Not, right now it's touching your, so it shouldn't touch it, it's just point.
Where should it be? This. I won't
No,
say
just
much.
turn it, turn it. It'll turn. That's it, you got it. Good work.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay,
Okay,
you guys,
Isaac, you gotta be quiet.
if you talk, you're gonna be on that microphone. But the good news is if you talk, you're gonna be on that microphone. So,
So you can
so
talk,
you can participate in the conversation, okay?
but it has to be related to our conversation.
Yeah, our conversation. Okay, we're back. We're live. We're ThinkTech. We're Energy Wednesday. Hawaii, the state of clean energy. And today, transportation efficiency and bikes and e-bikes. What a great topic. Thank you so much, Sharon Moriwaki, for setting this up today.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Chad and Isaac, and now we have Henry Jiao, who's kind of a famous person, and we have Marion Smith, who's his first customer. You know, so
It was.
they know each other from some important transaction. Maybe we should start with Marion.
Yes.
How did you get involved in this?
Well, actually, I heard about energy efficiency while I was in San Francisco during the Green Festivals. I was so excited about it. And I was driving through my hometown in Kaka'ako on Ilani Y Street, and I saw electric e-bikes, and I was so excited. I had to stop and go in and talk to Henry and say, an electric bike, I have to get one. I saw it in San Francisco, but I couldn't ship one over here. So I said, I have to get one. And I wanted the biggest one, but he said, no, not the biggest one.
Almost that time.
Almost the biggest one. So,
so they're
mine
different
is
sizes.
mine is actually looks like a moped.
Ah.
Yeah. And I
But
just
you can pedal it if you want.
I cannot.
Oh.
I cannot
okay.
pedal it, and it
That's
helps
the big
me.
one. The big ones are like that.
It
Yeah.
helps me like with my arms and balancing, and because it's bigger,
Yeah.
it's a nice smooth ride,
Yeah.
and it helps me carry all kinds of things.
Are
too.
you like Isaac? You use it all the time?
When I was working in Waikiki at the Royal Hawaiian Shopping Center, I used it as my major transportation.
And
yes.
now?
Now I use it to go to my family's home and to carry groceries and any type of short trips when I don't want to bicycle.
How far does the e-bike take you?
It can take me to downtown Honolulu because I have to go to the tax office. So,
Oh, sorry to hear that.
I know. Well, we all have to. So I've been down to downtown and back. And sometimes when you go to a restaurant and the parking is limited, it's great. And in Waikiki and Banks, you don't have to pay for parking with a moped too.
So where do you park it? Anywhere? Or you park it on a bike stand?
No, I usually ask. I usually ask someone or a security guard, or sometimes they'll have a sign that says this is for mopeds. I like to be sure that I'm not, causing any kind of crime or anything like that, especially because it says e-bike. I don't want any bad news to go to Henry.
Yeah.
Right.
You have a big chain like Henry does? I'm sorry, like Isaac does?
The bike shop recommended for me to get a big chain. And I was brought up not locking anything, not front door or anything. And I
This
found
You
Not
might be
good to
one
see
of
on
the
this
very few
program.
left.
actually, when I parked in Waikiki, in the Royal Hawaiian Shopping Center, I never locked my bike.
And nobody ever stole it?
No one ever stole it. However, I must say with downtown Honolulu, I parked my bike, I left my helmet there. Because sometimes I do leave and that
The
helmet
helmet
goes-
was gone.
Yes.
Ooh.
I don't know what happened in downtown
know.
Honolulu.
It was either the executives, the lawyers, the accountants, one of those groups. Anyway, so my question is, how do you charge it?
I just plug it in, like Henry says and like Isaac says. It's so convenient. I live in a home, so there's outlets outside, and
How long does it take to charge?
it depends. It can take 8 hours or 6 hours. What I like to do, because I never know when I'm going to use it, I want to have it fully charged all the time. Like, of course, we'd love to have our gas tanks all filled all the time, but it costs too much. So this is great. I can just plug it in. I always know that I have a full charge.
How far is that going to get you on your e-bike?
I use it more for shorter distances. I'd say, like, sometimes I may not charge it for three days, and I'll do 3 round trips to Waikiki. But normally, I'll do maybe a 10-mile one way, 10-mile back, which is
No
great.
problem.
No problem, yes.
Yeah,
And how fast does it go?
Mine is a bigger one because it's a moped style.
Yeah.
So it could go up closer up to 30, but it's more like 25, I'd say. And I don't really want to go much faster.
No.
I've gone up hills and I can just roll down, but I'd be using too much brakes.
Yeah. And you did go out and get another helmet, yeah?
Of course. you know, I really love to ride without a helmet, but everyone who's so concerned about me says, wear a helmet, wear a helmet. So I do. Even though in Hawaii we're not required to do
You have
that.
good friends. Will keep you healthy.
Yes.
So I remember when I met you, Henry, I told you about my story about in the Carrefour store in Beijing. I went with my friend Russell Liu in the Carrefour store, and there were bikes there, electric bikes. And I said, I was wearing a suit and tie at the time, and I said to the salesman, "Oh, I've never seen so many beautiful bikes, and they're so cheap. They were like $200 or $300 a pop, and they were nice, they were really nice." So he said, "Well, you have to take it for a ride." I said, "I'm wearing a suit. How can I take it for a ride?" He says, "Well, just ride in the store." So I got on this electric bike and I started riding around the Carrefour store in Beijing, down the aisles. I wasn't very good at it, and everybody was jumping out of the way, and the salesman was running after me because he couldn't keep up. It was one of those memorable experiences. But I became converted, Henry.
I do that too. Sometimes a customer try, I have to follow them.
How'd you get into this business?
Okay. So, for the e-bike business, all the whole idea is actually we're learning from China. Actually, everything else look like China learn from us, but the bicycle we learn from them. In 2005,
How many bicycles are there in Beijing?
we get some ideas.
9 million.
Yeah,
We-
9 million, yeah, probably over that, over years. So if you say the last year they're selling about 29. Okay, what the number is there? So the worldwide sale for 2012 is 29 million.
in Beijing.
Okay, 90% is in China. Beijing probably take about 2 million. By e-bike, we talk about just e-bikes.
Just 29 million e-bikes?
Yeah. So
And who makes the good ones, you know? Because
That's,
Sharon is into electric vehicles, and she, after this discussion, she may decide she
I
wants to
may come
buy
to your
one.
store.
So she needs to know the Cadillac of electric bikes. Yeah?
when I starting the business since about 2006, end of 2006, that time there wasn't something, there were not many like bicycles. And most of them made for Asian people, they can carry maybe 3 person or some grocery on the back. Recently, so the bicycle can really like a bicycles. That's what we talk about. Isaac is the one he has is a pure
Did Isaac
looking
get his bicycle from you?
Right. So
All these
Mary-
people are your customers then, huh?
Yeah, Mary
You have some
Ann-
kind of monopoly on e-bikes here in Oahu. And
Not
they're all
re- not
devoted to
really,
you.
not really.
Henry,
So,
they all
yeah.
know you. They all think you're the cat's meow.
He
Or the
is.
cat's Jiao.
Actually, we encourage as many as possible. Any new guys to jump in, we push the whole idea. The two-wheel cycling is a new lifestyle. So we're too obsessive to the four-wheel driving lifestyles now. That's okay. We simply put it this way. So, with bicycles are simple, it's a small thing, but it play major roles. I got some number, real
Okay,
serious
tell us,
numbers.
yeah.
Henry, do you drive an e-bike?
I ride a e-bike. Yeah. I ride
Excuse
an
me.
e-bike. I
Ride
drive
an
a car.
I used the wrong term. It's not drive.
Oh, right.
Why didn't you correct me, Marion? So what kind do you? We need to know the best one, huh?
Oh.
What kind do you drive?
Oh,
I ride.
Right now, I'm using 2. One is for faster A to B transportation. Okay.
That's the kind that Marion has.
Yeah. Like if I go to the downtown to pay the tax, I remind something renew your license. The traffic is so bad, parking is so difficult. If you wait in the line the 2 hours, so you'd rather take a bicycle or e-bike to get there. So it's no.
So which kind
So,
do you drive?
Okay,
Or ride?
mopeds type e-bikes. So that's the Marion ride. So
How do you spell that? What's the brand?
brand, we still call it e-bike. It's
There's no
all
brand?
electric powered.
There's no different makers of the bike.
Yeah,
is
from
there?
the outside looking, there's no difference with the gas moped. But this thing is so quiet, so it does use.
I know. In the Carry For store, nobody could even hear me coming. It was totally
It
silent.
does have some hummingbird noise coming out, so if you pay attention.
Remember how we used to put playing cards on the spokes with a clothespin?
Yeah, right. Make the
So
sound.
that's what you got to do with an e-bike. Otherwise, they won't hear you coming.
Henry wants to tell us how many bikes, right? Let him tell us how many.
Yeah, now I realize, okay, you heard so many people talk to you. So I think it nationally, so the first thing is smartphones, iPhones. Okay? Well, the second thing people talk about in the whole nation is e-bikes. So the wave is really coming. So
How many are in the state or in Honolulu? Do you know?
overall, so now it's much better than 2006 or 2007.
When did
So
you start?
We started in 2007. Yeah, official 2007.
So there are no registrations, you know, so there's no way for Sharon to find out exactly how many there are. And she would like to know because she's a metrics person. How many e-bikes do you think there are, say, in Oahu?
In Oahu, I think around about 1 to 2,000 around there.
Neighbor Islands?
Neighbor Island probably on about 400-500, something like that.
All of the neighbor islands.
All the neighbor island. Yeah. It's not only for me. They can buy from the internet. Or they have businessmen. They have the shipping things carried. Yeah.
It's easier to buy it locally.
Yeah. But the thing is, we have local laws on the mopeds type or the e-bikes. So there are certain rules that we have to follow. So, for example, the speed, the limitation, the power, horsepower. So those are the numbers that we gotta do. Because if you brought in yourself, in China there are over 2,000 manufacturers. They don't know where to go. There are 30 number of factories that they know our laws. They can manufacture according to the regulations.
Yeah.
So some of the ones brought in, they couldn't register. It's illegal to ride on the road.
But this, you as a dealer, I mean, you have to be licensed as a dealer to import e-bikes?
No, I'm not a dealer. I'm a distributor.
Okay.
So we have
I'd rather be a distributor myself.
Sounds better anyway.
We first look at our regulations, traffic regulations. Yeah, any local, like a state or city, have local rules. Federal have rules too. So overall, any bicycle, when we talk about e-bike, has a pedal and the horsepower less than 750 watts. So to be able to go 20 miles per hour. So this is the safe range of a speed. So because that's a regular bicycle can go that speed. The racing bike can go 35 miles per hour. That's much faster than the regular bicycle.
But I can buy an e-bike that'll do 35 right now.
Yeah.
No,
how fast?
I cannot go that
The
fast.
motorcycle?
Yeah. That's the way we
Well, suppose I'm going downhill.
That's the way we mopeds. That would be moped. Yeah, mopeds type, you go mopeds routes. So that's a different.
Okay, so this is important that we distinguish
I
the
think
moped.
Right now there's a.
How do we know
Why we get
that
to
Marion is driving an e-bike, not a moped?
You know,
Hey,
actually, I most people think I'm a regular moped instead of an
How do
e-bike.
we know?
No one.
How can we tell?
No one really knows. They think I'm going slow. My moped is going slow. What I do is I always allow the regular traffic to go fast. I don't normally ride in the center of the lane. I drive very defensively. Ride very defensively.
Defensively, yeah.
Very much
Yeah,
so.
Well, you
Right.
want to stay healthy. And speaking of which, we're going to take a short break right now. This is ThinkTech on Energy Wednesday. We're doing transportation efficiency and bikes and e-bikes in the larger scheme of transportation efficiency. We'll be right back with Henry Jiao and Marion Smith right after these messages. Thank you, Sharon.
Mahalo.
Good.
Okay, now what are we going to do for the last quarter here?
So can we say the future? What are the
Do you want to get these guys involved somehow?
I think, yeah, we don't have,
We have a microphone over there.
maybe Chad can come
Chad,
back.
you want to participate by way of that microphone? Well, just pull the microphone up to you. Oh, that's good. Okay.
And I think we want to know what the challenges are. I mean, what are you selling more? Do you think that it's really safe, and that where are we going with bicycling in the whole scheme of energy savings?
Yeah, we can. It's the main thing we're gonna focus on energy.
Yeah,
Have
you
people
should turn that off. Is that
overcome
on?
gas
Oh,
price.
gee whiz, that should have been off.
And then health.
Okay.
So that's where we try to get people in a healthy
So
lifestyle,
much better in a
not
large
obsessive.
Okay, we're going to go back on now.
Okay, and maybe some of the problems that we might be facing.
More places to plug in when they're running up.
Oh,
Why don't you get closer to the
Go to the
microphone,
mic.
Isaac?
so-
Okay, so now That was a refreshing break, Sharon. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. This is ThinkTech and Energy Wednesday and Hawaii, the State of Clean Energy with Sharon Moriwaki and me. And we're talking not only to Chad Taniguchi and Isaac Masaki, we're also talking to Marion Smith and Henry Jiao. What a combination. We have covering the entire territory. I wish we had 6 hours to do this in proper style.
Me too.
But let's take a moment and get some feedback from the guys who were here before behind the table and who have been listening in our studio gallery. Chad, you want to comment on where you think we are with this? And I go back to what I was raising with you before. Is there a difference between e-bikes and bikes? And what should we be concerned about the distinction, or should we be formulating new definitions, or changing the way we treat one than the other? Let's get real close to that.
I don't think there's very much of a difference. It's a really small difference. The way bigger difference is between bicycle and moped, bicycle and motorcycle, bicycle and car. So I think bikes and e-bikes are very close. And as I said before, the only small area we're not sure about is the multi-use path,
Yeah.
whether they'd be safe there or not. But everywhere else, I feel very comfortable. And again, even the electric bike is much more efficient than a gas-burning moped in terms of noise and in terms of fuel consumption. So it's great.
What do you see for the future for bikes, e-bikes, even mopeds, in terms of the city and maybe the state? What can we do? What can we expect?
We need car drivers to recognize that bikes and e-bikes can use the full lane, and that's by law in every state. That the reason it's like that is before the car became very mass-produced, actually bicycles were greater numbers than cars, and bicyclists were the one who lobbied for the governments to put in paved roads. Before there were for covered wagons, and there were no paved roads, so bicyclists were the one that lobbied for that. And I think that's the reason why we still have the law that allows bicycles to ride on the road and e-bikes. So that's a good legacy. And as the world gets more warming, global warming, we got to cut down on the things we can. So why take a car for a short trip? Take a bike or e-bike or walk for a short trip. For a long trip, take a bus or the rail. And only when you really need to carry something or carry a lot of people, use your car.
Yeah, the multimodal idea.
Mhm.
Nobody should be locked into only one thing. Can't. For a quality of life question. Isaac is shaking your head. Why don't you give us your comment on this?
I think the future looks very promising for e-bikes. I think the cost saving is tremendous riding an e-bike versus an automobile. I think it has a bright future in our energy independence. I think we need more awareness as far as that shared bike lane. Also, we need more outlets to charge our electric bikes. And we need to develop our infrastructure for bikes and e-bikes so that it's easier for the bicyclists to get around Honolulu.
So just one question. So the EV charging stations that are around the state, you can't use that.
Those are for automobiles
just
only.
Auto.
Yeah.
So it's too big a plug
Yeah,
for
right.
what you need.
Yes.
The plug for the e-bikes is a small plug, huh?
It's just a regular electrical.
Well, just a regular
Right.
electrical, so
Right.
no big thing.
Right, just a regular
So you
electrical.
can plug it in. You plug it in here in the studio.
Right.
You
Right.
guys want to bring your bikes in and plug them in?
That's a good idea.
Thank you for that. Yeah.
Thank you.
So, Marion, are your friends taking this up also, or are you the only one in your crowd?
What I'd like to see, I'm glad you asked that question. Actually, what I'd like to see, Henry is always trying to get the regular consumer, the local resident, but I see it as great for businesses. Businesses that have large land area military or like the airport, where they're maybe using bicycles or gas vehicles. But these electric bikes are really great because when employees have to get from 1 mile to another to their location, they're not tired. They're not tired, and they're not consuming fossil fuels, really. So I think businesses would be great to look into electric bikes.
No, don't forget the fun part.
It is so
It
much
is
fun.
fun,
Like,
yeah.
you know, whenever when you kept mentioning how you first rode it, that was my feeling too. When I first rode an e-bike, it was the first time I rode a moped, and I got on it, and I felt like I was 10 or 12 or maybe 6. You know, I don't know. I was just so happy. It's such a great feeling. It's
Where's the furthest you've ridden your moped?
Gee, I don't.
So
I've never
Henry,
further. So I'm
how
sorry.
is we only have a couple of minutes left here. Just want to ask you, how is business? Has business been booming? Do you expect that business will get better and better in Hawaii? Tell us about your inside income and expense numbers and your profitability. Tell us everything.
We'd like more businesses.
I know.
Definitely.
Yeah, people gonna very interested in this part. For the economy recovering overall in the U.S., I think this is a very good investment opportunity. So just to give you an example, okay, 2012, 1 year, in the U.S., 53,000 e-bikes has been sold, but that's only less than 0.2% global market. But we have big potential for the U.S. in e-bikes. So European sale, just Germany, 380,000. That's tremendous. That's almost about 8 times more than we have. So Netherlands is 175,000 just last year. So compare European and the U.S., so North America. So we are far behind. So
Well,
why?
you know, it strikes me though from what you say. Number one, am I right to say that most of the quality e-bikes that are made are being made in China? Is that true?
Say again.
Most of the quality
good
e-bikes that
ones.
are made are being made in China, manufactured in China.
Yes.
Okay. Number two is, it seems to me that if given a choice, I'm not speaking for myself or Marion for that matter, but given a choice to have, or Chad, or given a choice to have a bike with pedals and a bike with a little motor where I don't have to pedal, I think most people, right or wrong, most people are going to take the e-bike because it's more fun and you don't even break a sweat. You know?
Exactly.
Okay, and over time, and I'd like Chad's remarks on this to close, over time, Henry, don't you think that the e-bike is going to eat the bike?
I don't think so. Sir, okay,
How much is an e-bike
Okay.
anyway?
let's put it this way. So, basically, you have plenty of food here. So anybody have a preference. There are middle-aged people or older people, they quitting bicycles anyway. So
I got
these-
it.
Yeah.
I
Those
should
the
have
ones.
both.
Yeah.
I should have a bike and an e-bike,
Right.
both. When I feel like breaking a sweat, getting some exercise, I take my bike. When I feel like riding down to Waikiki, I take my e-bike.
There's a tool
There-
for everything,
There are
right?
two
There's a
things.
special
There
tool
are
to
two
make.
things I want to emphasize here. Okay, bicycles. Everybody like a bicycle. Any family have a bicycle, but the problem is, do you want to ride a bicycle to go to work? Do you want to get a sweat? When you're getting older, you feel you're so hard to push. You lost your energy. So now, the motor. This is a new technology. So it try to energizing you. You get younger feelings. That's where we wanted people to go. So we don't just sitting there, drive, get there, more more fat or whatever.
Okay, I think that's a
the
valuable
one.
point.
Yeah.
Let me close with.
Oh, wait, I just want to say that Henry's going to bring some models of his e-bikes at Hawaii Clean Energy Day.
Oh, good.
So that
You
we
mean
can
the one
see
on July 12th?
the one on July
The
12th.
one at the Richard Street Y.
YWCA,
The
yes.
one you would like everybody to come to.
That's
Everybody
right.
listening to
and you
this
can see all
now.
the e-bikes, right? You'll have all kinds
Exactly.
of models.
How can they sign up for this program on July 12th
will be
about
registering.
transportation and energy and efficiency? How
Okay,
can they
go
do
to
that?
Hawaii Energy at hawaii.edu. Hawaii
Okay.
Energy Policy dot
Hawaii Energy Policy
dot Hawaii
dot
edu.
Okay.
And we'll have registration up.
Okay. Got to come to that. Henry will be there.
Henry will be there.
Marion, I
Yeah, I'll
hope
be
you'll be there.
Sounds
Chad,
great.
you'll be there, and
Chad will
Isaac,
be
you'll
there.
be there, right? But just like 30 seconds, Chad, what do you think about my concern that e-bikes are going to eat bikes?
I don't think that. Well, people can choose what they're going to choose. I just talked to a friend of mine, Dale Hoffman, 77 years old. He's fit as a fiddle, and I think he's going to keep riding his bike until his legs don't move. So, to me, the bike is a fountain of youth for me, and I'm going to keep biking until I cannot. And at that point, when I'm 90, then I'll go buy an e-bike. But until then, I'm going to bike as far and as long as I can.
Well, I like to say I have a bike too. I have a bike, a pedal bike, and the e-bike.
Okay, we're going to leave it there. This is ThinkTech with Chad and Isaac, Marion and Henry, and Sharon and me. Thank you. It's been a wonderful discussion. And
Oh, thank you.
yes, you can you can charge your bags. And we'll see you next Wednesday for more Hawaii, the state of clean energy. Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you.
Aloha.
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 Thank you.
Thank you.
Henry,
Henry, did you have fun?
Yes.
hard to handle 4 people, I'll tell
No,
you.
sorry about all the logistical problems.
Hey, Henry, I really don't know. Do you know
Okay, let's think
comparable
that.
statistics for
If you
bikes?
hold the two together, you're gonna
That's the
get
recent publication. This is from Yale. Yale School of Forestry and Environmental Science.
Okay.
It just end of April. You can search electric bicycles,
Okay.
and then they come out.
So maybe in Copenhagen they allow the electric bike the same place where the regular bike goes then.
Oh yeah. But e-bikes, because they offer you longer distance,
Yeah.
hill, you can overcome hills better.
Yeah, yeah.
They